Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.com.
In continuation to the last class, in this chapter, we are going to start a new chapter. In this class, we are going to start a new chapter, that is mechanical properties of solids. Okay, right. See here, in this chapter, we are going to concentrate. In this chapter, we are going to concentrate on elastic behavior and mechanical properties of solids. Okay, right. You know very well what is a solid. From lower classes onwards, right, we studied many times about what is a solid. Basically, if you compare solids with remaining, that is what liquids and gases, solid has some rigid nature. Solid has some rigid nature. So what is meant by rigid nature? See, for example, if you are going to apply certain amount of force on a particular solid, easily, I mean for a smaller amount of forces, right? So when a solid material is going to exposed, when certain amount of force is going to applied on a solid, it won't change its shape and size easily. But it is not in case of liquids and as well as gases. That's why we can call the solid material as a rigid one when compared to liquids and gases. But keep in mind, there is no perfectly rigid body, right? So every solid material, how much it is strong, it doesn't matter. So definitely it has to change its shape and size for certain amount of force. That's why there is no perfectly rigid body, but because of having definite shape and definite size, and because of that is what resistance, because of the ability to resist the applied force up to certain extent, we can call it as that is what a rigid body when compared to the liquids and gases. Because you know very well, liquids are going to change their shapes easily, gases are too much easy, right? That's why we are calling solid as a rigid material. Okay, ma? Right. And what I am saying is, generally a solid has definite shape and size, right? In order to change the shape or size of a body, a force is required. Full stop. If you stretch a helical spring, that is what you just imagine, like a pen spring. See, you know, a pen, there is a spring, no, small spring. So you just imagine that particular spring. If you stretch a helical spring by gently pulling its ends, then what will happen? You can say the answer. That is what the length of the string will be increased slightly. When you leave the ends of the spring, what happens? It regains its original size and shape. Am I right or not? So you just take the pen spring into your hand and you just apply the force at the ends of the spring. Then you can observe the length of the spring, or the spring is going to, that is what, increase. The spring increases, the length of the spring increases slightly. But immediately, when you are going to leave the ends of the spring, so when you are withdrawing the applied force, then what will happen? The spring regains its original size and shape. So here spring is considered as a solid material in this example, right? Now observe carefully. That is what the property of a body, by virtue of which it regains, right? The property of a body by virtue of which it tends to regain its original size and shape, when the applied force is removed, is known as elasticity, and the deformation caused is known as elastic deformation. So is the important point we must understand. That is what I am explaining. What is meant by elasticity and what is elastic deformation? Deformation means what? Change in form, deform. For example, you can see some rubber materials, right, and some elastic materials. If you apply certain amount of force, those materials change their shape. Once when you remove the applied force, then automatically those material will regain their original shape and size. That's what I am talking. So the changing their shape, for example, you can see the balloon, right? So after injecting air into the balloon, if you press the balloon will change their shape little, don't expect much, right? So basically what I am saying is, when you apply certain amount of force, right, so they will change their shape and size. So that's what we are calling it as deformation. See here, the property of a body by virtue of which it tends to regain its original size and shape, when the applied force is removed, is known as elasticity. You can see this elastic nature in that is what generally for visibility purpose you can see in rubber material mostly, okay, right? And the deformation caused is known as elastic deformation, and the deformation caused is known as elastic deformation, right? Okay. However, if you apply the same to putty or mud, if you apply the same force to putty or mud, this is what another type of material, they get permanently deformed. Such substances are called plastic, and this property is called as plasticity, right? So here I am expecting you to understand what is meant by elasticity, what is meant by elastic deformation, and what is meant by plasticity, right? At the same time, what are plastic materials? So from here to here, right? From here to here, I am taking, see, two different types of materials. Here rubber material, otherwise pen spring. Here I am taking putty or mud. So I am saying that a small piece of rubber, otherwise a spring like material, exhibits elasticity, which cause elastic deformation. But in case of putty or mud, they won't exhibit any elastic material, and moreover they will be permanently deformed. Because of this permanent deformation, you can call them as plastic, and the property you can call it as plasticity, right? Okay, see here ma, I'll repeat once again. The property of a body by virtue of which it tends to regain its original size and shape when the applied force is removed is known as elasticity, and the deformation caused is known as elastic deformation. However, if you apply the same to putty or mud, they get permanently deformed. Otherwise, in case of putty or mud, you can take, that is what, wheat powder ma. See, you take some wheat powder and pour some water and you mix it. That is what we are doing while making chapati, no, that is what chapati pindi something powder we are calling it as, but including water. After making that, before going to make chapatis, if you apply some force, it will be deformed, but the deformation is permanent deformation. That's what I am saying. So in such type of situations, right, the substances are called as plastic, and the property is called plasticity. Property is called plasticity. Okay, right. So in this chapter we shall study the elastic behavior and mechanical properties of solids and mechanical properties of solids. Okay, why? Because you know very well, the elastic behavior of materials, plays an important role in engineering design. Right, in the same chapter, as we are moving topic by topic, concept by concept, we will come to know what is the importance of elasticity, right, in our day-to-day life, either while constructing buildings, right. So in our daily life application, as simple as such, in our daily life application, what is the importance of elasticity, we will come to know, right. For example, while designing a building, right, so knowledge of elastic properties of materials like steel, concrete is compulsory, is essential, right. The same is true in the design of bridges, that is what wire bridges, that is what wire bridges, we are using so many wires, right, to construct that bridge. Similarly, in case of automobiles and ropeways especially, right, ropeways, what is a ropeway? In case of ropeways, the material what you are using, you have to get the knowledge about that particular material, how much elastic it is, right. So at the same time, you come to the point of aeroplane, you come to the application of aeroplane. So what is the material we are using for aeroplane? Because it must be light and strong. See, I can say that we design an aeroplane which is very light and sufficiently strong, right. Similarly, you go to that artificial limb which is lighter but stronger. If you compare eagle to the aeroplane, right, so that what is that, how much strong it is, but at the same time it should be lighter. Okay. Similarly, railway track, right. So these are all applications to daily life where we are using different materials, right. There we must experience what is the elasticity of those particular materials in different applications of our life. Similarly, we are using glass in some places, right. Actually, the glass is very brittle, but while brass is not, brass material, right. So what is the difference? So these are all we are going to discuss in this chapter. That's why I am saying here we shall study the elastic behavior and mechanical properties of solids. Okay, right. Next, what is elastic behavior of solids? What is elastic behavior of solids? See here, when a solid is deformed, right, when a solid is deformed, the atoms or molecules are displaced from their equilibrium positions, causing a change in interatomic or intermolecular distance, right. This is what I already told you. That's what happened in case of elastic materials when we are going to apply certain amount of external force. Okay, right. See, basically, if you see a structure of solid, each atom or molecule is surrounded by neighboring atoms or molecules. Am I right? If you see a solid atom, right, okay, if you see a solid material, each atom or molecule is surrounded by neighboring atoms or molecules. Okay, full stop. These are bonded together by interatomic or intermolecular forces and stay in a stable equilibrium position. Okay, right. That is what the structure of solid material or solid matter. When a solid is deformed, what happens to the positions of the atoms or molecules? See, the positions of atoms and molecules, that is what you can call them as equilibrium positions, right. So that only he is saying here, when a solid is deformed, the atoms or molecules are displaced from their equilibrium positions, causing a change in interatomic or intermolecular distances. Right. Suppose when you are going to apply, when you are going to withdraw the applied force, that is what you can call it as deforming force. Deforming force means it's very simple thing, ma. The force which causes the change in shape or size of a body is simply called as deforming force. When deforming force is removed, the interatomic forces tend to drive. When deforming force is removed, the interatomic forces tend to drive them back to their original positions. Thus, the body regains its original shape and size. Okay. The same thing here also you can experience. It is like a cube, right? So cube, and there we connected two pieces, right? Two pieces. I mean, that is what like you can call it as ball-like material, right? So ball-like material is connected by spring. See, for example, here two balls are there connected by spring. Here also we have two balls connected by spring. Two balls connected by spring. So similarly, every two balls are going to connected by spring. So this is what you can call it as spring ball model. Spring ball model. So this material or this picture, okay, not picture, material. Here it is a picture, but you can make it, right? So this that is what spring ball model. This spring ball we are utilizing to discuss the elastic, to discuss or to illustrate of elastic behavior of solids. Elastic behavior of solids. Okay, right. What I am saying here is, so whenever you are going to withdraw the applied force, that is what, when the deforming force is removed, the interatomic forces tend to drive them back to their original positions. Thus, the body regains its original shape and size, right? The restoring mechanism can be visualized by taking a model of spring ball system, right? This is what picture, observe carefully, right? So here the balls represent like atoms and the springs represent like interatomic forces. Interatomic forces. If you connect two balls by the spring, what happens, right? How the balls are going to behave if you apply certain amount of force, that and all you can visualize easily, because in our pen, right, we are using spring, and ball means small pieces of either rubber ball, whatever it may, with a small piece of iron also, no problem. So in this spring ball model, I mean in this spring ball, if you try to displace any ball from its equilibrium position, for example this one, right, for example this one, if you try to displace any ball from anywhere, right, if you try to displace any ball from anywhere, observe carefully, see here, that is what, the ball will regain its original shape and size. The ball will regain its original shape and size. Okay, right. So this is what spring ball model. It is for discussion purpose I drew here, you can make on its own. See, you need not to take these many. You can take two things. That is what, two balls and one spring, right? So it is what, not a fixed shape. So finally the conclusion from this picture we have to understand is, if you displace the ball by applying certain amount of force, which is called as deforming force, right? So till the application of force it is okay, but once you withdraw the force what you are applying, automatically the ball will regain its original shape. That is what ball will original shape means, that is what we are applying force on the ball. But generally where the deformation takes place, that is what, in the position of the spring, that is what equilibrium positions of the balls. Okay, right. Now see here, the elastic behavior of solids can be explained in terms of microscopic nature of solid. Microscopic nature of solid. You know, one of the great scientists, Robert Hooke, an English physicist, right, performed experiments on springs and found that the elongation, that is what, change in length, found that the elongation produced in a body is proportional to the applied force, or load. So in the year of 1676, he presented his law of elasticity. That is what we are calling it as Hooke's law. So we shall study about it. That is what in the upcoming section, that is 9.4. Here, this law, like our Boyle's law, is one of the earliest quantitative relationships in science. It is very important to know the behavior of the materials under various kinds of load from the context of engineering design. So here, the important law, Hooke's law. So what is Hooke's law? The elongation produced in a body is proportional to the applied force or load. You know what is the spring balance? Because with the help of spring balance, you can measure the weight of an object, right? So the working principle of spring balance is Hooke's law only. The working of spring balance is Hooke's law only, right? That is. So that's why you try to make a spring ball model to understand the elastic behavior. That's what in your own. That's why I am repeating once again. This is what we can draw on our own, right? So wherever you want, you can connect. That is not a problem. For example, here, see our basic interest to observe the elastic behavior. Of equilibrium positions of balls in case of spring ball. So you can take just 4. No need of take this. That is what like 12, 16 also no need. Just by taking 6 or 4, even 2 also. Just you hold one ball in your hand and you try to apply certain amount of force on the other ball, right? Then automatically you can see the change in equilibrium, change in positions of a balls, right? That's what I can say. That is the observation what you can visualize and you can observe physically in case of that is what spring ball model for the illustration of elastic behavior of solids. Okay, right. So in this class we started a new chapter, that is mechanical properties of solids. So what is a solid? What is the basic difference between solid and then liquids and gases? Afterwards, what is the property, that is what is elasticity and what is elastic deformation? And after completion of that, what is elastic deformation, and then what is plasticity and what is permanent deformation. Then what is elastic behavior of solids? Right? So in case of elastic behavior of solids, we came to discuss, right? Just by taking some of the balls and connected with the help of springs, we observed how the equilibrium positions of balls will change. Okay, right? And there itself we discussed the very important law, which is the working principle of that is what weighing machine also. That is Hooke's law. Hooke's law means the elongation produced in a body is proportional to the applied force or load. Okay, right. Thank you. In our next class, we will continue with the next continuation topic.